This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Hey, it's your boy Miguel Z with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I have a guest for you, folks.
Yeah, that boy. Hey, man, shout out to Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big O's, San Jose. We gonna shut the shit down. Love and respect, though, right? Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank you.
Not live. Oh, you didn't know? I think we're live now. I think we're finally here. La-da-da-da. Very party. Let me look through a couple of things to make sure we're on track with where we should be. It looks like we're good to go. We are live on air. Everything looking pretty. Let me just check. Everything looking great. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Value of Wrestling. Welcome to your weekly roundup for January 21st, 2024. 1 month almost down in the books, gentlemen. 1 month almost done. Crazy to think how fast time flies. We are less than a week away from Royal Rumble. Lots of big news going on in wrestling, sort of, kind of, depending on how you feel about it. We're going to have a lot to talk about, and we're glad that you're all here to join us as we discuss this week in wrestling. Of course, let's get into the introductions first. The one, the only, the myth, the legend. Oh, yeah. And, of course, the master of New Japan Wrestling, the Encyclopedia Britannica New Japan.
Miguel Z.
I believe that. Of course, you know me. I'm the one, the only. I am the Big Tyme, and I welcome you to the party. La-da-da-da. Let's get it started. All right, gentlemen. What a week we got. What a crazy week we got. Big news coming out of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Mr. Z, what's the big news coming out of New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Okada bids his farewells to New Japan. That is the biggest news we got going so far. Where he'll end up, nobody knows.
Yeah. And what do you feel about it?
I feel like Okada had nothing left to prove with New Japan. He did everything under the sun. Multiple-time G1 winner, multiple-time IWGP champ, Intercontinental champ. Yeah, I would feel it was time for him to move on.
And Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on Okada's time ending with New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Unless he goes to WWE, he's leaving the best place, I think, for him from a creative standpoint.
Very true. Very true.
I don't know. It's like, I understand to a degree why he's as he's over in his homeland. Outside the entrance, though, he's not as big of a deal to me personally. I like the pomp and circumstance, but he's a serviceable wrestler. But I just don't know. He doesn't capture my interest the same way he captures other people's. And I think the only place outside of New Japan to capture the interest and do it right is WWE.
Very true, very true. We're going to have to see how that plays out, how that works out. It's going to be very interesting to see where we get to in the future. With Okada, WWE interest was there. I don't know if it's still there. A lot of interest from WWE in Julia. She seems to be the big name of the talk of the town. And, of course, everybody's it's still out there. Some people talk about it, but it kind of seemed to die down a little bit. With Mercedes Moné, I guess everybody kind of got tired of talking about where she's going to show up, which is fine. When she shows up, she'll show up and do what she does. And we know a lot of people are talking that they're building up the AEW women's roster so she can come in and be the head of that. And I'm like, well, I thought that's what they did with Saraya and other names that have came in. That's always been this story. So, whatever. Cool beans. Been there, done that. Time and time again. Anyways, also,
I'm not gonna say it because I have 0 firings and I don't want to start the year. I don't want to gain those back up.
Come on.
Nope.
I can.
I'll take
Shut
that.
your mouth, you thong wearing fatty.
Like I said, guys, stop peeking through my windows, man.
Anyways, it looks like we've got news on Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has suffered an MCL tear and a meniscus tear. Average time frame a couple weeks to a couple months, maybe. And so we're getting big news this week that we may be seeing him out of action for some time. Talks going on, and he's coming out tomorrow night on Raw to talk about his future with the World Championship. A lot of speculation. Is he going to forfeit the belt? Are they going to vacate the belt? Are they going to have him get pinned by Damian Priest after this? Are they going to do something else? What do you guys think? Mr. Clarke?
They have a couple of options. Whether Damian Priest cashes in, whether Seth Rollins forfeits the belt for now, or they just have him hold off until WrestleMania. It's really how do they want to play their cards, I mean WWE.
Very,
like
very true.
Scenario, they really should just give Seth some time off, have him come back for the WrestleMania match, unless it's that bad that they can't go with that option.
Yeah. Mr. Z, your thoughts on Seth Rollins?
Like I was saying off air, how are you going to have him vacate a belt when their other current champ is gone for months at a time? So the cash-in seems feasible, or like Paul said, just let him take the time off. Left Mania.
Very true. The only thing I look at and think that if they do a cash-in, I think Damian Priest gets the thunder out from under him. Or kind of stolen because it's only going to be I just don't see him as the long champ. Like, you go to WrestleMania and lose the title, or he might lose it sooner. I think if he is, they vacate the title. They put the title on the line in the Rumble. We haven't had that in a while. We've had the title defended in the Rumble in the last 5 years, maybe a little longer now. So hard to tell. Like, I saw a meme where it showed Hulk Hogan and Tugboat and Big Boss Man and said, "This is what I think when I think of wrestling 25 years ago." And then it shows another picture of what 25 years ago was when it's Stone Cold and The Rock and the Attitude Era. And I'm like, damn, I feel old now. So it felt that way. So I don't know if it was 10 years ago or 5 years, but we really haven't had a vacated title at a Rumble since 92 when Ric Flair went pretty much bell to bell. He came in as number 3, I believe. Yes, he came in as number 3, went all the way through and won the WWE Championship, or the WWF Big Winged Eagle belt at that time. And we had that. So, I mean, I even think you would vacate the world title, let CM Punk win the Rumble as we have it. You could build CM Punk. You could put Seth Rollins on the side. If Seth Rollins recovers in time to come back, you have the perfect way to get Seth and CM Punk back into that feud. Of course, I don't think you have Punk lose to Rollins there anyways, but, at least you can do that, or you can go a different direction. You could cash in, but I would just see Damian Priest as a short-term champion, and I feel like if he's really going to cash in and win it, I don't know if I want to see him as a short-term champion. Now, they could have done that if they would have done the storyline where they had Jinder beat Seth, and then Damian beat Jinder, cash in on Jinder, and then Seth requests his rematch, but we didn't do that. Now Seth's injured, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Even though being a short-term champion, as a theory, I don't know if it's such a bad thing. I mean, it still works wonders for Jinder. He's only been one-time champion.
I don't know. I just want to see Damian Priest have a good run with it because he's earned it. That's the big thing there, too. I don't want to see him just
he's one of those. He's one of those that deserves more, and with the way they've always built Damian, he deserves a little bit longer of a run with that belt than what we're thinking.
Well, I'm ready to see him turn babyface in the breakdown of possibly all or part of Judgment Day, depending on how that's all going to go. And of course, I'm also interested in what they really are doing with the briefcase. I just don't know if he's going to cash in. I just feel like I like the storyline where we just don't know if he's going to run out of time. thank you for showing up, Mr. Z. We appreciate you. When you get your connection back with AT&T, yeah, we'll welcome you back to the party, lottie dottie. Anyways,
Tell me, yeah.
why'd you just fly off screen?
I hit the table and my camera decided to flip on.
Okay. He's going away. You're flying off the screen. Things are going nuts. This is the Value Wrestler. We thank you for being here. Make sure you feel okay to join in the chat. And Mr. Z is completely gone. So now I've got to figure out what to do here because now everything looks screwy as screwy can be. How do we get to something that's a little more? Let's just get into a standby mode. Please stand by. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're back. Technical difficulties. And yeah, so AT&T, we want to thank you for this special message from Mr. Miguel. Anyways, we talked about Seth Rollins. We talked about that. Mr. Z, why don't you give us a sample, a tasting, a little dibble dabble on what's going on in New Japan Pro Wrestling? what are we talking about this week on the rebound?
All right, so we're going to talk about nights 1 and night 2 of New Beginning. We had one in Nagoya on Friday night. Overall, good show. Tonight we have another one in Nagoya. I don't have the card up, but the one coming out from Saturday is potentially Tama Tonga's last match in New Japan. So we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, folks, on Tuesday, when these boys drop it, you'll hear all of it.
Yeah, when you get it prepared and it gets dropped, it's, it'll get out there. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Geez. Mr. Clarke, what do you have for this week? Anything? Nothing?
Not much. There is just not much going on outside of the regular shows.
Yeah.
Nothing to me. Although I guess we could rag on AEW just for ragging on Tony Khan's sake. I mean, I've actually been driven to go back to NWA Power to try to find some logical storytelling. I can tell you something right there, considering I like EC3, as champion, but NWA still not these bigger shows still, regardless.
Mr. Z, Mr. Z, take a deep breath. In, out, before you give yourself a heart attack over there. We don't need you dying on air.
The bush, breathe in, breathe out.
But go ahead. Go ahead with your.
What did Tony do to Bullet Club? You ruined the namesake. You have an elite person who was a leader of Bullet Club. You have me so mad that this banner back here was about to come down. He's been reduced to scissoring.
So, in other words, you're not a fan of the newest stable in AEW, the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. Now that the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn, the AEW Trios champions, are now aligned with the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions, Bullet Club Gold, to become the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. And they're carrying around now that Jay White's back and Juice Robinson's out on injury, they're going to carry around a cardboard version of Juice Robinson. So, how much excitement was there for you in seeing the, if I would have told you this year you would have saw Jay White and Daddy Ass, Billy Gunn, scissoring.
I would have said you're crazy.
Oh my God. Even Mr. Clarke's held his head in shame. Tony, this is where you fucked up. One of your biggest supporters in this group, at least, is hanging his head in shame.
It's one thing for the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass to do this comedy bit because it works for them.
Mm-hmm.
What the Bullet Club was and is supposed to be is a completely different matter, and turning them into what they're turning them into now is like just no.
You know
this is why David Finlay is the man right now. That is how you're supposed to present Bullet Club. Mm-hmm. Tony, you.
I know how to make the Bang Bang Scissor Gang better. They can add 3 more men. FTR and Daniel Garcia.
Oh.
Then they can have the Bang Bang Scissor Gang Dancing Queens.
Wait, you hear it? I think Jim Cornette just fell over.
Jim Cornette just had a whole brain aneurysm blow up in his head after that, yes. I don't know what Tony Khan's doing with these combination of people. I mean, we got Daniel Garcia running around with FTR to take on the House of Black, which absolutely really doesn't make any sense because I don't know. People, I guess we're back to there's no babyface or heel characters. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are excited, great. For those who are like, meh, who cares? The power rankings back. So depending on where you rank, wins, loss records, all that stuff, we're going to have rankings back. Win-loss records are going to count in AEW.
Well, that's because Tony stuck his foot in his mouth. That's why.
How long will that stay around? Because it's going to become irrelevant pretty quickly because
last
they're not.
time it was about
I mean,
8 months.
Tony, you want to complain about Jinder Mahal getting a title shot against Seth Rollins out of nowhere after they lost all? He never won a match last year, but we won't get into all the details about that. But now you're going to give me on Dynamite. Not only are you getting me Miro versus Pinto Zero Miro against Hangman for the billionth time in the existence of AEW in some form or another. You're putting the Murder Daddy Suzuki against
Minoru Suzuki
against
Grandpa
against Adam Copeland for I hope this match is good. I'm a little scared for Adam in this match. Copeland. I think you got in a little over your head, and then we got Swerve. We got Swerve versus Jeff Hardy. So I mean, maybe this is Tony Khan booking against the Young Bucks, since the Young Bucks want to take out the old guys that they're leaning on, the cancers that they talk about. We'll get that in a little bit too. But now we're getting the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass defending for the first time in God knows how long, since last year, since like Full Gear, maybe before Full Gear, defending the AEW Trios titles against the Mogul Embassy, Brian Cage, and the Gates of Agony. They're getting a title shot for the AEW Trios titles after last week losing their Ring of Honor 6-man titles to the Bullet Club. So tell me how you justify that one. Tell me how you say a team that lost their titles, they don't get a rematch for their titles, but they lost their titles, and now they're getting a title shot for a different Trios title. Justify that one for me.
You hear crickets?
I'll say the same thing.
To the fans that like what's going on, good. That's good on you. Like we say here, this is our opinion, and if you have a different one, folks, please state it and let us know. We appreciate it all.
Quit playing with Tony Khan's
wrestling fans here.
Quit playing with Tony Khan Snow if you're really liking this stuff. And now, the Young Bucks are here to get rid of the cancer, to get rid of the leaning on the old guys. But Sting, they like Sting. Sting's a good model employee. They want to get rid of the other excess cancer that they lean too heavy on.
Themselves?
No. Ain't that about the damn truth? Like, they act like they're so young. Like, they haven't been doing this for, 20 years now. Like, they're brand new on the scenes, and they just, we're this upstart company, and we're the new young guys that are going to take out the old guys. Like,
the old bucks.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the same age bracket as some of these guys you're talking about taking out in some fashion. But I mean, it's sad that you guys still want to talk about cancerous and throw undertones that everybody's going, oh, you guys are talking about CM Punk still. You can't get over it. Like, this is for the ridiculousnesses. I mean, you guys want to be
because
EVPs.
One of them got mocked. That's why.
No,
one of them got the
beating
they
got
deserved.
They got their asses beaten, and Kenny Omega tried to, I don't know, Kenny Omega tried to get out of there like, okay, this shit went really bad. He got bit for his. I don't care. And this week, AEW Dynamite had 1 million viewers at the start of the show, and by the time they put the Young Bucks on TV for that segment, they had lost over 100,000 viewers. And that's telling you the fans don't even care to see the Young Bucks on TV. And then it hurt the matches afterwards, because the next segment was the Anna Jay and Deonna Purrazzo and the Top Flight Top Flight and Private Party match. Not that people are really invested in Top Flight and Private Party, because it's kind of like you use them, you don't use them, they're here, they're not there. Of course, Quinn had been injured on Private Party, so we, gave him Private Party back. But again, not to talk shame on, I know you're a big fan, but Purrazzo is feeling like another one of these things that I think the fans are looking at and go, great, but the way she's going to be built, shot to the title, probably win it, maybe not win it. It just feels like rinse and repeat. We signed a new talent. We saw what happened with Saraya. what's going to be the difference with Peraza and the way that Tony Khan's going to book her. And yet Mr. Clark's a big fan. We know. And this isn't to attack her. It's nothing she's doing wrong. She signed the contract to come in to help to make this company better, and it already feels like, it's the same thing. Adam Copeland came in, and by the... Somebody's not happy. But anyways, it's like Adam Copeland came in, and he came in with a big pop, and then he's just fizzled out. You rushed him to Christian Cage in that match too soon, and now we're on a whole, his whole thing to team up with his best friend. His best friend turned on him. He won the title, lost the title all in the same night, and he doesn't, he's off going, okay, I'm just going to start wrestling whoever wants to wrestle me. At first, it was like, okay, maybe he was going to help the young guys. Now you're putting him in with the murder grandpa, and you're kind of going, where are we going with Copeland all of a sudden?
Are you offline?
Gentlemen, do you have any thoughts you want to add to this conversation? I guess, Mr. Clarke, the floor is yours.
Lord. First of all, Deonna Purrazzo should have come in with more pomp and circumstance. She is the virtuosa. And I don't know, for her debut, her debut period, might have been her fault in the sense of the attire she decided to go with compared to what she's worn in the past to kind of give that pop and circumstance. But what was it? Match 1, what was it? Collision against Red Velvet. Not saying she should necessarily have just destroyed Red Velvet in a squash, but for AEW fans, for some of them, this is their first time seeing Deonna Purrazzo. Why is she not being shown what she can do? Not necessarily in a competitive match, but in a showcase.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that decision from a booking perspective.
What about the match with Anna Jay?
Same thing. It's like, why is... On one hand, it's like, I don't want to see someone like Anna Jay get squashed, per se, because she's been there. She's been improving week after week after week that she's been a part of the company. But again, why are we not showcasing, what Deonna, as the new talent, is about and can do, and what we can look forward to in the future?
Yeah. No, it's... I just feel like they keep talking about that, they're bringing in Mercedes Moné, and they're trying to build a division for Mercedes Moné, but at the same time, it feels like they're totally dropping that ball because they're bringing in people, but they're not really doing anything. And it's like Sharaya's felt flat. They had her the big moment at All In, but once she dropped the title again, she's just fizzled into nothingness. And of course, these new vignettes they keep putting out with the women that she seems to be ahead of. I don't know if this is something they're building towards, or this is just the AEW women being whatever, and we're not going to necessarily...
I'm assuming it's them doing it on their own. I'm assuming that's a Saraya thing.
I'm not really going to dive into what we think anymore. But, she's kind of fallen off the whole thing. Ruby Soho came in with a bunch of fanfare, and she's like, who cares? Like, nobody has anything to really get excited about. And Tony Storm's character, we got Tony Storm, and then we got, we got this new character, and I think even Tony Storm's new character is starting to bore people. And this is where I think Tony Khan's in deep trouble. He's not keeping the interest. He can give us great in-ring matches, and that's fine, but it's the other segments and the other stuff that are going to keep us interested. New Japan...
this is real quick. This is one of the few times that, like I said, we haven't seen Thunder Rosa on TV in forever. And it's one of those where, like, okay, she's here, and I wasn't excited anymore. Yeah. I usually get. I mean, I'm a big fan. I'm a big supporter of that because she's awesome. But she's always on and off TV for so long, you can't get behind it no more.
What happened to Abaddon? Did she get put back in the Halloween closet? Did she get put away till next Halloween? It's the season of terror over.
Oh my God, I guess. Well,
but then you do
okay. She's on Ring of Honor TV. Okay. That doesn't help AEW TV, but
no.
But let me say this. I stated last week. I went to New Japan. They had 2 women's matches. Them fans were live for everything. Every minute of it.
That's the other thing. That's why I said AEW in Daly's Place was a great show because the fans were alive. AEW outside of Daly's Place, you get some cheers, but it's a short. You just don't get the same impact. It just.
But Judas is playing loud just fine.
Everybody sings along. Everybody sings along with Judas just cause. That's another segment. Chris Jericho cost them a lot of viewers too. People saw Chris Jericho on TV and flipped the switch. I think people are.
Why, but
Well, I think people are just over Jericho. Whether anything comes out of that issue anymore, I think people are just done with Jericho because we're just like, we've seen it, we've done it, we don't care anymore. But I mean, this is where we're looking at it going. AEW is definitely. Go ahead.
Just the creative of Jericho also, though, because right now it's rinse and repeat. You know,
Oh yeah.
Had a match with Matt Sydal recently. I was like, okay, and we care why. We already know Jericho's going over. There's nothing that's being added creatively to make it interesting. Like, yes, I understand they have a rich history, but so what?
No, it's like yay. And yeah, we see some of these matches that are throwaways, and then they try to build a super card, and you're just like, why? Why aren't you building super cards to pay-per-view events?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the Revolution. We have Sting's last match, possibly against the Young Bucks, possibly not now. We don't know because the Young Bucks left us up in the air, which fine. Sometimes that's good to keep people intrigued to see what's going to happen. But then we got a video package by the end of the show that said that Sting and Darby Allin want the tag team titles. So now we're like, okay, how does this play out? Do we give Sting and Darby Allin the tag team titles on their way out? Does Sting and then win it before Revolution, then face the Young Bucks at Revolution? Do they drop the tag team titles to the Young Bucks? Or do they walk out as champions and then we get a tournament for the new tag team or for new tag team champions? And does that really help AEW's tag team titles? It probably does because their tag team division does need a good reset. I think Ricky Starks and Big Bill are not a great tag team. I don't think people really gotten into it. I think the only reason they started getting cheered was because they put them against Jericho and Guevara. And I think Tony Khan learned real quick. That's why.
Bless you.
I see you.
But I think that's why you put that match on like Rampage and in like the hour that nobody was watching. So it maybe that's the way they need to go and have a tag team tournament to crown new tag team champions and maybe build some of these other tag teams they got. I don't know. AEW is just it's hard to watch sometimes.
Like you turn it on, you're like, all right, I'm excited. It's Wednesday night. It's Friday night. And then I got better things to do on Saturday.
Because I can get into just in-ring only action, Rampage to me is actually not a bad show.
Right.
Collision, I don't know what the F is going on there. Dynamite's kind of in between.
Hey, don't you threat. Next Collision this Saturday, going head to head with the Royal Rumble. They're going to give us a cage match in AEW. I don't know when we last had a cage match. Not only that, it's going to be a 6-man tag cage match. So we're going to put 6 men in the ring at the same time. It's going to be the House of Black against the new tag team called the Dancing Queens, Daniel Garcia and FTR.
There goes Cornette again.
So that's going to go up against the Rumble. So, yay. AEW, I don't know. And if Okada winds up in AEW,
don't ruin the Rainmaker. Good God, guys. I just
remember, Miguel, there's that nice picture of Okada with the Motor City machine guns. If he has to go anywhere besides WWE, TNA is the better spot.
I'm all for it, and TNA's off to a hot start. I just watched the link you sent me. I just watched Ospreay and
Josh Alexander.
Woo, boy, that was great.
And Okada might be a key that's going to help launch TNA to a new level and make and that's the other thing. He go to TNA and help them launch up to another level, and AEW has competition breathing down their neck, and it's called TNA. And if Tony Khan doesn't get his crap together and bringing back the power ranking, the win-loss record system, I don't think that's going to get you on the right path.
It ain't gonna do anything. It will have no effect.
Yeah.
A lot of it is booking. Until Tony Khan can rebuild the faith of the fans that he is booking for them and what needs to be done, then I think he's in deep ado. Gentlemen, Saturday, January 27, 2024, live from Tampa Bay, it's the Royal Rumble.
All right.
So, how are we feeling about the Royal Rumble this year?
I think I said before, it's one of those years where you don't know who's going to win. And I like that.
I think even on a weaker year, the Royal Rumble is always a good event just because of the Royal Rumble matches themselves. So let alone a year like this where there's anticipation, you don't know which direction they're necessarily going to go. We have our beliefs, but we don't actually know who's going to win, And there's a couple different options.
So far, we know that in the men's Rumble, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, Gunther, Chad Gable, Otis, and Akira Tozawa all have announced.
Is he going to dance in the ring during all this?
Akira?
Yeah.
I don't know what he'll do.
Ooh, that's nasty.
I guess maybe Akira Tozawa could, if WWE can get Daniel Garcia, they could put Akira Tozawa and Daniel Garcia together. And they can be the dancing fools. At least for the women,
that's all we need is like Tozawa, Garcia, Woods, Kofi, and if Big E comes back.
Well, shit, why add R-Truth and Carmella and have a dance break?
Oh, jeez.
Did you say dance break?
You got him going.
For the women, we have Bayley, Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, Bianca, who cares, and Maxine Dupree. Or Maxine Dupree! So, we have a men's Rumble, a women's Rumble. We have the four-way dance, and then we have the Logan Paul, Kevin Owens match for the United States title. Those are all. We only have 4 matches for the Royal Rumble currently. No, Rhea's not fighting anybody, and Ego's not fighting anybody, so that's not up. We might get a women's tag match. We might get something. I don't know. I'm sure we'll get one more match. Well, no, because both Rumble matches will be about an hour. Logan Paul and Kevin Owens will probably be a good 20-minute match, and the four-way dance will probably be a good 30-minute match. So that's a good 3-hour pay-per-view. So we might get one more, but I don't know how much more we're gonna get. So, gentlemen, Logan Paul, Kevin Owens for the United States title. What happens?
KO. Definitely KO.
You think they're ready to pull that title off of Logan Paul? They're not going to save that moment for WrestleMania?
Yeah, you're right. Never mind. Scratch that one.
Here's also the thing. If Logan Paul keeps the U.S. Championship, that's just more heat on him. And especially depending upon how they do it, they could put even more heat on him for whatever WrestleMania match they eventually put together.
Well, I'm thinking Ray or somebody.
Ricochet?
Ricochet, yeah. We haven't gone back to Ricochet yet.
Yeah.
The four-way dance. Roman Reigns defending the undisputed WWE Universal Championship versus Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and LA Knight. Yeah. AT&T. No.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mr. Clarke. Your predictions.
Roman. Definitely Roman on that one. He needs to make it to Mania. Cody needs that moment.
Yeah, I think Roman's going to survive this somehow. I don't know exactly how it's going to go down. It'll be interesting to see how they play it out, but it'll definitely
It's going to come down between him and Randy because you already know what's playing between Knight and AJ.
That's a good possibility.
Yeah.
Well, it's supposed to be Roman and Cody at WrestleMania. So unless The Rock makes a surprise appearance and throws everything off, I don't know. So that's the
Here's the
scary
thing.
part.
Roman has defended his title in the past, not as his character, but in the past in a Royal Rumble. He's beaten 29 other guys. What the bleep is 3 guys?
Yeah. This is true. Who do you think wins the women's Royal Rumble this year?
Bailey.
Oh, they're still also making an interesting argument for Becky.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. So there's your 2.
I'm still with Bailey because Becky's already won one. So I think it's Bailey. I think Bailey should get it here. It makes sense. Can Terry, she wins. She's gonna go fight Rhea. She's gonna be the mommy slayer. We're already getting that built up. And then somewhere she's gonna have that match, and then she's gonna be able to go against Io Sky. I think that's the story we're gonna get.
If Bailey drops a Mommy Slayer shirt, I gotta get that for my bro. He's big. He's the big Rhea mark, so it make him mad.
The men's Royal Rumble. Who is going to win the men's Royal Rumble?
Who we think or who we know?
2 choices.
Your prediction. You can say whoever you want.
It's hard to say Cody because he's already won it once.
Does Cody get to join the list of people who've won back-to-back Rumbles?
Well, yeah, I know the list, and he deserves to be on that list. Honestly, he needs, yeah. So I got to go with Cody. This is a safe bet.
I've been backing Cody since last WrestleMania, so.
I'm going to tell you, it's going to be Punk. I think they've already set up that story to tell you. With Seth being injured, yes, it could throw off. The only things that I could see is if they do bring The Rock in to win the Rumble, it's not going to end good. I think it's
Stop
Punk.
Throwing that out into the sphere, please.
I'm not throwing at. You want to go yell at somebody? Go talk to the Sean Ross Sapps and the Meltzers and people who have reported on this possibility, especially Uncle Davey Dave.
I'm not talking to Meltzer because we know what Meltzer does with old Mr. Tony Khan, and I'm just not.
Well, what do you say? One snorts, one blows.
We at the Value of Wrestling are staying neutral. We are saying nothing, but you know what we mean.
But no, I think they built Punk up for this. Punk needs to get his Rumble. This should be what sends Punk into his WrestleMania moment. Whoever he's going to fight against, I think they can do a really good storyline if they take Seth Rollins out of the picture briefly. If the world title goes on the line at the Rumble, I think Punk's a safer bet too. I don't think Cody in the world title have ever made sense.
No. Not at this time.
I think it's Punk unless Rock shows up, and then I'm going to be pissed off. And you'll hear about that on Saturday when we do a whole post-show review of the Royal Rumble. We'll be here live doing a whole post-show review
of that review
of the Royal Rumble.
I got to make sure I kick everybody out of my house as soon as the show's done so I can come back here and set up.
Yes, we will.
Full of people.
We will be live for that. Tomorrow night, me and Mr. Clarke will be here for your Monday Night Raw post-show review. We will be discussing what Seth Rollins says. He'll be opening the show tomorrow night on Raw to fill us in on what's going on with his torn MCL and meniscus and what his status is going forward. Will he be able to compete? Will he be able to recover, or is he going to have to vacate the title? What is that going to do to the title? A lot of things will be figured out tomorrow night. We'll be here Wednesday for Dynamite. Sadly. Yes. And then we'll come back for the last SmackDown, and then the trio of all three of us will be here for your Royal Rumble review. We'll be breaking that down. It'll be an exciting night. Can't wait for this Saturday. Can't wait for the Rumble. We are really in a good Rumble place this year.
Can't forget Tuesday. I'm gonna drop 2 nights worth of some New Japan results for you folks.
Yes, Mr. Z will be recording the New Japan Rebound podcast. It'll drop Tuesday sometime right here on the Value Wrestling. If you're new here, make sure you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Value Wrestling family. Join the Value Wrestling. Help us grow. Help us become one of the largest competitors on the wrestling podcast scene, because that's what we want. And Yeah, hit the like button. If you have comments you want to share below, drop them below. If you're watching this later, always feel free to comment. Agree or disagree with our views, that is perfectly fine. We will not argue with you on that. Everybody has the right to their own opinion. And when we have our debates and agree and disagree, as you've seen me and Mr. Clarke agree and disagree over wrestling for many, many years, whether it was Shawn Michaels was better, Bret Hart's better, whatever, we won't go down that road. It's fine. We're not here to lose everything. But I lose my earpieces wonderfully.
Kurt Angle.
Huh?
I said besides, the real answer is Kurt Angle.
No, it's Hook. Now top that, Jack.
Danhausen? I'm sorry.
Damn, I was just gonna say something a little bit more realistic, like Spike Dudley.
No. Gilbert.
Oh God.
Or what was his name? The chinless wonder.
Oh, James Ellsworth.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, jeez. I mean, he did help create Carmella to be a women's world champion. I mean, okay, granted, it was SmackDown at the time, but hey.
Speaking of Carmella, does anyone know if she's going to come back, or is she?
What do you think the Royal Rumble is for?
Ooh.
Party.
Sorry.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching this later, we thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us right here on the weekly Roundup.
And if you have any issues, folks, real quick, if you have any issues, please blame AT&T. That's not on me. You gotta blame them.
Dark horse potential winner for the men's and women's Royal Rumble. In other words, someone that we haven't mentioned as the most likely candidates, but someone you think deserves it.
That's an interesting idea. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Value of Wrestling. This has been your weekly roundup for January 21st, 2024. We're less than a week away from the Royal Rumble. We hope you'll be here for the review show. Join us tomorrow night for the Monday Night Raw review show. But for now, we're going to get out of here. We're going to say goodbye. We're going to say la-di-da-di-da-di. Farewell. So long. We're out-a-batty. Until the next one.